Well, hey everyone, welcome to this week's version of, or this week's edition rather, of No Perfect People Allowed. You caught me on my way to work. I had to work from home this morning and headed into the office, so sorry for the shaky video. But man, this chapter was really, really good. I think one of the overall arching themes of the chapter was that people are in development, they're in process. And this focused on world religions, of course. And so, you know, I think when a lot of people come to the Jesus question of, is it fair? How can Jesus be the only way? All those questions that John addressed, this is not an unimportant issue. It's not an unimportant issue. However, a question that comes to my mind, and we don't have to rehash what he wrote, a question that comes to my mind is, in our groups, are we letting our fear of engaging these questions with people who are in process all along the spiritual continuum, are we allowing our fear to not engage their process, not engage their development, not engage their transformation, these conversations that the Spirit is using in their heart to woo them to Himself? Are we allowing our fear to not even engage those? Because there are people in your group who have questions. They may be Christ followers, but they may be babies, and they still have questions. And they're looking to their spiritual community, your group, to get those questions answered. And so that struck me very strongly as I was reading through the stories that he had on there. Very incredible stories. Fear. It's very scary, and I'm not going to minimize that. I'm not going to pretend the fear doesn't exist. I'm not perfect. I have those same fears. I remember an experience when I was at UT Arlington where I went to and got my bachelor's. I did a minor in archaeology, anthropology and archaeology. And so I was in there with folks who, you know, Jesus is just a myth and just kind of one way to have peace in your life. So I dealt with all of that firsthand. And I remember vividly being in a class called Myths and Mysteries in Archaeology. And anything that came up that had to do with Christianity, there was snickering. People talked about hypocrites and all of those types of things. But I had a couple of conversations with some people because, you know, I didn't play into that. And I, you know, tried to give a best account to my faith when I was asked, as I knew how. But I remember having some conversations with people where they actually said, hey, you know what? Thank you for having conversations with me. Thank you for allowing me to ask questions. Thank you for, you know, acknowledging some of the wrongs that have been done in the name of Jesus over the centuries. And you know, they would bring up the Crusades. They would bring up you know, those religious wars in Europe. They would bring up a lot of things that is a black eye on and Christianity as a religion. But when it came to Jesus, the individual, talking about a relationship, you know, they seemed to be grateful. And I'm not perfect. I mean, I wasn't great at answering them, but I at least had a conversation with them. So, you know, consider that. Your question for this week. Are you allowing your fear for engaging these conversations to overcome what you're really trying to accomplish in your group? And that is walk with people as they learn more about Christ. Walk with people as they become more Christ-like. So, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being patient with me while I drove to work. And tune in next week. You will not want to miss next week. This chapter is going to be awesome. All right, take care.